Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday and welcome to Ask the Expert, an award-winning daily series from 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. to help small businesses. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments of the live feed below. Wherever you're tuning in, get your questions in and get commenting. I will be reading them out and answering them live. If you need any more advice, join the official Intuit QuickBooks even. Early start for me. SMB community group on Facebook. Accountants and business experts are on hand 24/7. During the live session, we'll be running a poll, so please do engage with that, and I'll reveal the result at the end. That question will be coming up very shortly. So I'm going to just introduce myself for those of you that don't know who I am. I'm very, very famous. You should know who I am. I'm joking. So I'm going to run through what I've been up to. I appreciate I did some of these shows a little while back during a different part of COVID. And we're now well into 2021, so there's loads of updates to give you guys. And I'll just kind of run through what I've been up to and how I've kind of dealt with all the obstacles that the past year or so has thrown at us. Again, fire the questions in. If you don't hear them being read out and answered just yet, I'll be getting onto those. So I'm going to do a little bit of chit-chat, a little bit of waffle, and then we'll get onto those as well. So where to start? My name's Tom. We'll start with the basics first. I'm actually a YouTuber. I work in finance day to day, and I also have multiple businesses as well. It all sounds very grand and important, but effectively what that means is I'm doing 90-odd hour weeks every single week, juggling various things and juggling loads of really, really different things, not just kind of one industry and one track, but loads of little things kind of all round together. So I love it. I'm super, super busy, but it is a bit of a struggle at times to kind of juggle everything. So the first thing of which, my first kind of business that I started was back in 2012. I set up a fitness company called LDNM, which is LDN Muscle. Those in the kind of fitness world or that kind of do fitness or have an active interest in fitness will probably know London Muscle. That is a business solely kind of started around digital fitness products. So effectively personal training plans, digital personal training plans, downloadable from anywhere in the world, straight to your smartphone, your tablet. And we've done hundreds of thousands of those worldwide since starting the business. So that was where the core of the business was. That grew into clothing. We wrote a book with Penguin. We've done an app, which went to #1, which is absolute chaos. We do supplements, and we also provide education as well. So on the education side, the business actually provides qualifications to actually prisoners, I say normal people, but those in those kind of normal people that aren't in prison and those in the kind of the prison population. We provide courses for rehabilitating offenders. So we're kind of tendering with the government and kind of working with the government to help get some of these guys that need a bit of a helping hand when they come out of prison to get back on their feet and earn money out of legitimate means. So that's a really, really rewarding part of the business, and that's growing rapidly, providing personal trainer qualifications, nutrition coach qualifications to members of the prison community that are coming out and are kind of habitual reoffenders, but not due to a lack of wanting to go straight, but just kind of just using the tools that they know and going back into offending. So it's a really nice, rewarding, amazing thing to be a part of a fitness company doing that. So that's the education side on that side. But we also provide personal training qualifications to those that want a second kind of qualification or a second income, which has been hugely, hugely popular throughout the whole kind of COVID mess that we've been in. People have realized that their main income is not as safe as they thought it was, or when they've been furloughed, they've needed a kind of a top up on that as well. So they've taken on personal training qualifications and actually been online training people throughout COVID, which has been really, really interesting. We've had to adapt the business quite a lot over the kind of the whole COVID mess. Fortunately, we don't have any gyms. We don't have any gym premises open to the public. So we've not had huge overheads and kind of lack of membership numbers and all the challenges that most gyms have faced. We've been predominantly digital. We've got a very small physical footprint. We don't even really have an office still. We trialed that a little while back. So our overheads are quite small, and the kind of core of our business is digital fitness products. It's clothing being sent out from a warehouse, it's supplements being sent out from a warehouse, and our education side of things. The prison stuff we've been able to carry on with. My twin brother, who runs that side of the business, he's been able to go into prison still with kind of all COVID testing and whatnot going on. prisons haven't been shut. And the other education side, kind of for civilians, should we say, or whatever the word is, that has been able to run as well, because we've just moved all the courses onto Skype and Zoom. So in terms of COVID messing up the fitness business, there's been a little less lack of demand, little less demand, should we say, because of the fact that people haven't been using gyms, but we've been quite lucky with it. Ordinarily, the 1st of January is our biggest day of the year by far, but that was a little bit dampened this year. But what's happened is there's been a slower initial spike, but that's kind of petered out, kind of more of an even spread over the past few months as people are getting back into fitness. So yeah, there's been challenges, but it's been overall okay, and we're kind of now out the other side with gyms open. So yeah, it's been okay. We've been quite lucky on that front, but I think one of our best decisions was not starting a gym franchise. We were mooting starting a gym franchise about a couple of years ago now, and we decided that we didn't want to put any debt into the business. We started the business with no debt whatsoever, no investment. We literally put 50 quid into a logo on Fiverr or one of these sites where a graphic designer just knocks something up in 15 minutes. And then we just ran with it from there. It's myself and my twin brother running the company. And it's, yeah, we could do with a little bit more structure and a bit more know-how, but we haven't taken any cash injection, and we're not, the business isn't in debt. So we're quite pleased we didn't inject it, start a gym franchise, because that would have gone down the pan over the past year. So dodged a bullet there. What else do I do then? That is actually a very small part of what I do, and I'm kind of hamming it up a little bit because my brother's MD of that business. He's got a majority shareholding now, so I'm more in the background, strategy-wise, and being kind of an in-house influencer, actually, if you can tolerate that word, influencer. So that's the fitness business. And the most exciting other thing that I do, I am a YouTuber. So I make YouTube videos about cars. Whilst that doesn't sound like a job, effectively you're running, 4 or 5 different media platforms, and you can really heavily monetize that and treat that like a business if you monetize it and you commercialize every single aspect of that. So there's loads of brand partnerships that you can run with and work with, and build it into your content and really heavily monetize the whole thing. I'm at a point in life where if YouTube thing didn't make money, whilst I love it, I couldn't afford to spend the time on it. So I have to heavily commercialize it. And at any one time, I can have 20 concurrent brand campaigns running at any one time. You obviously get paid from Google ads as well. So you get paid per month by Google, depending on how many eyeballs watch your videos, how long they watch it for, the demographic of who's watching. It is a very unpredictable game, the YouTube side of things. It is quite difficult to, kind of just mentally stay with it a lot of the time. I think what helps me through that is having my other businesses and my day job, which we'll get onto, which we're all right for the time being. I'm not in the hot seat just yet at work. But it is quite hard to manage the YouTube thing. And I do feel for people that do it full time, because it is so up and down, A, with the algorithm, and B, with AdSense from Google, the money that Google pays you every single month. It is a little bit changeable. It's quite hard to know what you're going to earn next month. I mean, you can get 4 brand emails in a week that come through and will completely change your next month. Or those emails might not come through, and you can literally earn like half the next month. It's so changeable. So yeah, I make videos about cars, basically, lifestyle surrounding cars. That sounds terrible, but it is effectively that. Also some fitness stuff on there, which again feeds into the fitness business. And I also make content about watches as well. So basically generalizing stuff that guys like. I can say that because I've seen stats. My audience is very, very heavily guy-led. So yeah, there's about 2% of my channel is girls watching. So yeah, not many. So yeah, basically just kind of blokey stuff, cars, watches, fitness, they all kind of tie in together. And it's mainly kind of young professionals and older that watch the channel. There's not really any kids watching, which is a really nice demographic. I feel like my demographic is quite reflective of me. They've got the same interests. They're around the same age as me. So yeah, it's quite cool. Absolutely love it. I don't love making ads a lot of the time. That side of things is quite painful, but that's absolutely essential to the kind of future of my channel, and putting enough money in to pay for the cars and whatnot that the channel needs. So goodness me, I think there's been some sort of catastrophe outside. We will continue. The day job then, the day job. They said I'm in finance day to day. I've got a 9-to-5 job on top of everything. I actually quit last March, right before the first lockdown. Not the best timing at all, but I was getting sick of commuting, and it was really bulldozing to 2 hours out of my day. And obviously being at a desk all day and being nagged by a boss and whatever, it's pretty tough. So yeah, I quit, and then we went into remote working. So I actually took another job and then used that to buy a cottage in the Cotswolds. So nice leverageable money having a job, whereas YouTube, having your own businesses, self-employed, it's really hard to get a lend based on being self-employed unless you ham up all your, well, those that are self-employed, they know the game with that. Right, we are at the 10-minute mark. I do various other things, but we'll get into those in the questions. So we've got some questions. Julie on Facebook Messenger is asking, first of all, she says, hi, Tom. It's so inspiring how you're able to manage so much. As you run several businesses, how are you able to split your time between them? Does it come down to managing a tight calendar, or are you more flexible? That's actually a really good question. I get asked this all the time. My calendar is appalling. I'm really bad at putting things into my diary. So often I will double book and ruin things. So as much as I'd love to sit here and say that I've got an amazing watertight system, it's actually just chaos a lot of the time. It is all in here a lot of the time, and I am constantly just kind of juggling around in there. But yeah, it's pretty full on a lot of the time. But the tight calendar thing, I just make use of hours before working hours and hours after. So typically I'll be up at sort of 6 or so, and then I'll work through with the day job, filming, editing, whatever it is I need to do, all the way up until sort of 1, 2 a.m. So I just put as many hours into the day as possible and just cut back a little bit on sleep, and I'll do that 7 days a week, and eventually enough will get done. But it is hard. It is hard, Judy. So I appreciate the question. Thank you very much. L on Twitter DMs, with so many businesses on the go, have you ever lost passion or interest in one of them? What did you do? On a frequent basis, I lose passion for the things that I'm doing. I think that's human nature. Once you start to monetize something, I think something flips in your head where it goes into a kind of a work category in your head. And that is quite normal. The passion does come back, and there are still elements of everything that I do that I absolutely love. But monetizing things, the processes behind it, and kind of keeping on top of it, that is painful, and that's totally normal. So try and remember why you started in the first place, other than the money, and just grin and bank it. I think that's a phrase I use a lot. You know, a lot of life is just grin and bank it. Most people in most jobs, you just got to grin and bank it, really. Most people placate their colleagues. They don't want to be friendly to their colleagues a lot of the time, but they just have to be, because that's what pays the bills. It's the same in businesses as well. So I'm quite lucky in that I love what I do. You know, the LDNM side of things, changing people's lives. When you see people have like an amazing transformation with one of our kind of fat loss guides, that is really, really rewarding. I absolutely love that. And same on the prison side of things, seeing some of these young lads that go into prison, habitually reoffending, and in a cycle of crime where, you know, without intervention, they'd just do that their whole life. Some of whom, you know, they've had a really, really tough start, and what they're doing is what most of us would be doing in their shoes, being born into their life. And when they get a new qualification and shown a way that they can make money without committing crime, and you see the spark and their kind of the hunger for it, and then putting all the hours in and going completely legit, that's amazing. So there's loads of elements to what I do that I love, and there's loads of elements that I don't. So yeah, a very wishy-washy answer there. Sorry, Al. Someone called Obliterated on YouTube is asking about the 812 Competizione. Sorry if you're Italian for my pronunciation there. That's the new Ferrari that just come out. I'm not going to waffle on too much about that. Do I like it? Yes. Would I get the one with the roof on or roof off? I prefer the coupe. Am I going to get one? No. I'm not going to be allocated one, and the over is going to be stupid. So we will cut that dead. Leah from Instagram DMs is saying, way back, I used to run a small YouTube channel. Now I want to launch a new one to support my crafting business. The platform has changed so much since then. How do you beat the algorithm and stay relevant? Leah, if I knew how to beat the algorithm, you know, life would be a little bit easier. I have no idea. I'm not beating the algorithm. The algorithm is beating me at the moment. My channel's having a bit of a dip, which is quite normal. But yes, it is quite difficult to beat the algorithm. It's that age-old question. What do? Do you clickbait? Do you not clickbait? No one knows. It's tough. Just keep putting out content. Put out the most punchy title and punchy thumbnail you can, and keep putting it out regularly. Try and drive as much traffic as you can from your socials. Share your videos on blogs, forums, all that nonsense, and it will come. But it is a little bit soul destroying a lot of the time. Right. Oh, lovely stuff. A bit of caffeine. Dan on Twitter TMs. Twitter TMs are popping off today. Big fan of TGE. Thank you very much. How do you get access to so many cars? I promise this one isn't my mum pretending to be Dan, by the way. How do you get access to so many cars? It must end up costing a lot if you buy them yourself. I am buying them all myself. I am financing them. And the best way of explaining this with the YouTube business, again, as I said at the start, it's a media platform. It's like a TV channel or a radio channel. People don't question how they make money. It's exactly the same, other than the fact I'm doing everything. I'm, chief presenter, I'm producer, I'm editor, I'm researcher, I'm the finance guy. I'm doing absolutely everything behind it. And it's got to be, and the content's got to go out almost instantly. So it's heavily monetized, but on the flip side of that, as interesting and hilarious as I think I am, no one's going to watch a car channel unless there's cars. So you can borrow as many press cars as you like. They're quite flexible without all these brands, but no one really cares that much if those cars aren't yours. If you're just scrounging press cars and you're not a car journalist, like I'm not, it's you have to have your own machinery. So the cars are akin to those that have their own startup and they have an office that they rent. I don't have an office. I don't have any overheads. The cars are my overheads. And whilst that runs to about 20 grand a month in terms of finance payments, those are my overheads. So it's just about kind of shifting your kind of view of the business and just seeing the cars as machinery, their business costs, and they draw in the eyeballs, which then are monetized. So a slightly different way of thinking of things, but that's effectively the core business. And it is the same as a TV channel. It is the same as a radio channel. It's exactly the same. Hopefully that answers it. Bill on YouTube is asking, why do you buy so many Porsches? Lol. I just like them. I just think I've got a problem with Porsches, to be honest, mate. I really like them. That's it. Boring answer, but yeah, I just love Porsche. And I think they're residually very good news. There's a very nice cult audience there as well. People that I would get on with and content that I like making. And obviously residually wise, they're not tanking. So for a business decision, you can make videos out of adding value into a car, and that value, when you've added to it at the end of when you're kind of bored of it or whatever, that asset is still sat there and it's held its value. So it's a really, really sensible place to put money and make content with. So yeah. Luke on YouTube, what is a brand that you haven't worked with yet that you would love to work with? Ooh. That is a very good question. I would love to work with more watch brands. AP maybe. I'd love to do some more watch stuff. So I'm trying to pull my content over there, but I'm not doing very well at it because I've not put out any watch videos for a while. But I've got 3 edited that I need to put out. But yeah, more watch stuff. Luke on YouTube. Cheers for the question, mate. Gareth on YouTube is asking, how often do you meet up with your accountant to review how each business is doing? Or does your manager, Mahmood, do this for you? So I have a manager / kind of an assistant who helps keep the strands of my life together. He doesn't do any accountancy stuff. He doesn't do any accountancy. He's not an accountant. He just helps with some emails and some outreach and some brand stuff and keeping on top of things. But each business has different accountancy needs, and they all get kind of reviewed ad hoc as much as possible. So there's no rhyme or reason or fixed response to that one. Cheers to the question, Gareth. I appreciate that, mate. Sorry, it was a fairly useless answer. Patrick on Facebook Messenger is asking and saying, I am definitely one for working super hard. Good lad. Like you, I have several passions, and I don't always stick to normal working hours, but sometimes means I don't have as much time for myself, friends, or family. What do you do to make sure you have a good life-work balance? That is the age-old question, mate, and I wish if I could nail it, I could. I don't have an answer for that. My work-life balance is pretty poor. I don't spend as much time with my dog as I'd like to, and my girlfriend, of course, and my family, and the other important stuff. But it's hard, like sometimes things can't wait, and you can't do all the things you want to do. And if you want to do well in life, sometimes, you have to make sacrifices, and that's purely down to you and how much your other half or your family or your friends will put up with. To be honest, I've lost friends over the years simply because, I've spent years not going to social functions, kind of having to put plans off. So it is really, really hard. And it's something that I've not got to grips with. As I say, I used to have a huge, huge friendship group outside of cars, and I don't really have that anymore. They all just got bored of me cancelling on things or not being able to go to stuff or being on my phone during things. So it's hard, mate. It is really hard, and just something to keep a tab on. If you are starting your own business, that is quite likely to happen. When you're solely relying on yourself for paying your own bills, then, it does get stressful, and it is difficult to juggle everything. Sausages, throat is drying up there. Alfie on the Twitter DMs is asking, LDN muscle started in such a simple way, and now it's this big with so many subcategories. How do you know what to add to a business and when to invest time and money into that new product or segment? Very good question, Alfie. So using the example of LDNM, that's just the different subcategories. As I say, we started with digital training only, and the different subcategories came about because you can suss it from your audience, read all your messages, read all your comments, read all your tweets, and get a handle on kind of what your audience wants or would buy from you with brand loyalty, and kind of grow, but don't go too aggressively and branch into too many different things, because ultimately you lose your core kind of values and your brand identity if you're trying to peddle so many different things. But with the fitness brand, I think supplements was a given, really. I think that was kind of just 101, really. We had to go into supplements. The margins are terrible in supplements, and it's basically a discount business. All the big players just discount the whole time, so it's quite hard. But it's good as a proof of concept and a brand building episode. I don't have a shaker here, but people strolling around with your shakers or your protein shakes, it's good as a brand building exercise, and it just adds legitimacy. What most people don't realize is that supplements are actually, there's only a few factories in Europe making supplements, so it doesn't really matter what brand you're buying. You're pretty much buying the same thing, just with different labeling on it. So you just choose the brand you like, really, and choose the brand you want to kind of fund. But yeah, I guess it comes around organically. I wouldn't be too quick to kind of expand and dilute. If you've got a core product at the start of your business that's going well, and you want to be known for that product, then don't jump out and dilute your message too much too early on. As much as you think more products equals more money, sometimes you dilute your message and your branding so much that people kind of just think, and they lose interest in your brand. So it's quite a tough one, and it is on a kind of business by business basis, what to add and when to expand. So yes, cheers to the question, Alfie. Appreciate that. Over on Twitter DMs, Max from Instagram DMs is saying, I'm about to launch an apparel business with customizable tees and accessories. What would be a good launch strategy? I'm planning on an affiliate model with influencers. How do I get them involved? Now, the affiliate thing is really tough. I get loads and loads of DMs every day as the influencer that I am, asking basically, will you promote my product? And if you sell anything, I'll give you a cut of it. Now, that sounds good. But when you're I was going to say at my level, but I'm a really small influencer on the scheme of things. It's, your social media is kind of a shop window, and there's a real opportunity cost. If I'm promoting one brand effectively for free, with performance-related bonuses on top, which is affiliate schemes, it stops me working with another brand, or it kind of dilutes my message for other brands or some of my own businesses that day. So there's a real cost, and obviously making content takes time as well. So it's not something that I jump to do, to be honest with you. I don't work on affiliate and commissions. Some micro-influencers will do, and often they're more bang for buck as well. Their engagement per follower is actually a lot better. So it's hard to get the big influencers involved on affiliate only. A lot of them won't do it. In fact, I don't know any of the guys in the car scene that will work on affiliate only, unless that commission is 500 quid a pop. If it's like big ticket items. But yeah, with t-shirts and stuff, you're really going to struggle, mate. But if you've got any friends that have a big following, get it on them. And try and send some samples to the PRs for some big influencers and whatever. If there's people that you know would probably like your stuff, just send some out for free, and hopefully they'll wear it and get snapped in it. But it's a tough one. So yes, right. We have got 5 minutes left. I'm going to rattle through these. Maya from Twitter DMs is saying, what do you do if you end up having a bad experience with a brand you're working with? Do you call it off or carry on? How do you deal with those tough combos? It's hard when you work with a brand and they kind of do you over. You try to point out that whilst you can be positive online about them, you can also be negative, and just try and solve it before airing your dirty laundry online, because that is real last chance saloon. I would never really do that. So give them a little threat. Rob on YouTube, just me with a tiny question. Will you be adding any more Porsches or anything else for that matter to the collection, especially obscure ones? #tractor. No tractors, no more Porsches for the time being, maybe an old Ferrari. Thoughts on alcohol in working culture? Don't have any thoughts on that, I'm afraid. Sean on Twitter DMs, I can barely get along with my big brother, let alone decide to run a company with him. What's it like working with family? It's good, actually. There's endless trust there with family members. Obviously, they're very annoying, but you get on with it. I think the trust thing is most important, but everyone's family relationship is different, so I can't comment on that. But here's the question anyway. Sean, the poll results are in. We asked you, whilst this was going along, there was a poll. We asked you, do you have a day job alongside running your business? 33% of you said yes, 67% of you said no. So that's actually quite surprising. A lot of you are having a day job alongside running a hustle or a business on the side. So that's quite cool. And I think that is growing now after lockdown. I think we've gone through a huge entrepreneurial period with what's gone on. So really, really exciting times for the UK economy, really exciting times for kind of startup business owners. And I think we're seeing a new way of entrepreneurial spirit coming through. So that is all we've got time for. Sorry, I rushed the end there to get through your questions as quickly as possible. I really appreciate you tuning in. Thank you all for tuning in. If you want to get in contact with me, you can tweet me at TGE LDNM on Twitter. I really should have come in with a snappier Twitter handle there. Coming up on Ask the Expert on Monday is Aaron Patrick, an accountant and QuickBooks expert. Tune in to get advice on accounting and the latest features and tools that will make your bookkeeping easier. A reminder that if you need any more advice, join the official Intuit QuickBooks SMB community group on Facebook. Accountants and business experts are on hand 24/7. I really enjoyed answering your questions this morning. Have a great day. The sun is shining here in London, so if you can, try and get out in it. Don't work too hard. Enjoy your weekend. And I'll see you all very soon. As I say, there are Ask the Experts the whole time, so make sure you're subscribing, following, whichever platform you're on right now, make sure you are with Intuit QuickBooks. For now, thank you so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. It's been great to come back on here. It's been a few months since I've last been on here. I think it was December. So really, really nice. And I appreciate all those that asked questions. If you didn't get your question answered, who knows? I might be appearing again very soon. So if you're really unlucky, you'll see me on here very soon. For now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very, very soon. See you guys.